You know, some stories in sports are about so much more than just a single game. They're about a dream that can take decades to unfold. Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. This is the story of the Illinois Fighting Illini and how one team's incredible run to the Final Four was really fueled by a dream 26 years in the making. And it all really starts with this simple but powerful idea from their head coach, Brad Underwood. It's a feeling every one of us understands if you've ever shot a basketball in your driveway. But for Underwood and his team, this wasn't just some daydream. No, this was the fire that fueled their entire season. And for Coach Underwood, let's be clear, this wasn't some new ambition. This was a dream he'd been chasing for 26 years. It was a long, winding road that finally led him to this one moment. I mean, just think about the persistence here. Underwood started out as a junior college coach. He spent 26 years just climbing the ladder, watching other people get their shot at the big time, probably wondering if his would ever come. Through all these different stops, he was honing his craft, but always with one single goal in mind: get to the Final Four. And this is where the story gets even more powerful, because you have the veteran coach, right, who fought for decades to get here. And then you have a player like Kylan Boswell, a local kid who grew up idolizing the Illini. For him, this isn't just a tournament, it's the absolute peak of a lifelong dream, playing for his hometown on the biggest stage imaginable. And this wasn't just the coach's dream, not by a long shot. The entire team had what one player actually called a delusional confidence. From the second they all got together in the summer, they just believed they were destined for something special. And that kind of belief, well, it comes from a coach who showed them what it means to fight for a quarter century for one single goal. But dreams, well, they're fragile things. And in the Elite Eight, with the Final Four just one single win away, their dream was about to face its absolute toughest test. And in just a few short minutes, that beautiful dream almost became a complete nightmare. It started with this. Before they could even really catch their breath, Illinois was in a massive 12-2 hole against a red-hot Iowa team. All that confidence, all that belief, it was suddenly on the verge of just shattering. And a huge reason for that was Iowa star Bennett Sturtz. I mean, the guy was absolutely unconscious, dropping 15 points in the first half alone. He was writing his own incredible story, and it looked like he was going to do it at Illinois' expense. So just picture it. They're walking into the locker room at halftime. They're trailing, and they look totally outmatched. Everything was on the line. Their season, their coach's 26-year dream, their own childhood fantasies. It was all just slipping right through their fingers. But then, something shifted. Everything changed. The second half was a completely different story. This is where Illinois' dream met its destiny, and they staged one of the most incredible comebacks of the entire tournament. So what they were doing wasn't working at all. Their outside shots just weren't falling. They were a terrible 3 for 17 from 3. So they changed the game plan completely. They stopped settling for jumpers and started relentlessly attacking the basket. And the result? A jaw-dropping 40-12 advantage in points in the paint. Just a coaching masterclass in real time. But look, it wasn't just about scoring. Their defense, it turned into an absolute brick wall. They held Iowa to a measly 23% shooting in the second half. And Bennett Sturtz, the guy who lit them up earlier, they put him in a total lockdown, challenging every single dribble and holding him to just 2 for 8 shooting. And out of that defensive fire, a hero emerged, a freshman Keaton Wagler. He put the team on his back, pouring in a game-high 25 points and just leading the charge when they needed it most. And it all came down to this one moment. With a little over 12 minutes to go, Wagler hits his defender with this wicked spin move that nearly sends the guy to the floor. Then he creates all the space he needs with a step back, and then he just drains the 3. That was the shot, the one that gave Illinois the lead for good and sent the entire arena into a frenzy. After that shot, man, you could just feel it in the building. The tide had turned. That dream was no longer some distant hope. It was becoming a reality, possession by possession. This was the moment all that hard work, all that delusional belief finally paid off. And they didn't just take the lead, they slammed the door shut. Sparked by another huge shot from Wagler, Illinois went on this dominant 15-8 run to close out the game, leaving absolutely no doubt who was heading to the Final Four. And then you hear it, the final buzzer. The confetti starts to fall. The nets come down. For the first time since 2005, Illinois was going to the Final Four. The drought was over, the dream was real. Which brings us right back to Coach Underwood. After 26 years of chasing this one moment, of wondering what it would even feel like, he finally had his answer. With the net draped around his neck, he said something that just perfectly captured the whole journey. You know, it's even better than I imagined it would be. The story of this Illinois team is just an incredible testament to the power of a dream. And it really makes you wonder, after a 26-year wait and a season pushed right to the brink, what dream is worth that kind of fight?